Assalamualaikum, my name is Zulaika binti Jalaini and I am from class 5E.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Afika Irdina binti Muhammad Razwan from class TBA 1145E.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Mira Azul Badkis binti Muhammad Rizwan. I'm from TBA 1145E.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Arsasafa binti Ahmad Nasihan. I'm from class TBA 1145E. I will be presenting February 2020 question 2B. From this question, we decided to sell today FCPO and buy back later FCPO. First, calculate its number of contracts by amount to H divided by size of contracts, then we get 80 lots. After that, we need to do this table and divide it into two columns, which is cash market and future market. In recent market, which is December, the company expected the price will go down. So in this table, we show our strategies for cash and future market. After done the strategies for December and February, we calculate the futures profit. We calculate the selling values minus buying values first, then times with number of contracts and contract size. Then we get 48,000 ringgit. To find its cash expenses, the selling price, which is 2,154 ringgit, with times with number of tons, which is 200 metric ton, then we get this value. The net effect is RM 4,300,000 ringgit by plus the futures profit and revenue in cash market, which is inflows out of selling. The last step, to calculate effective price, the net effect divided by number of tons. Then effective price for this hedging strategies is RM 2,150 ringgit.
Moving on to question 3E. Before we start, let's recite the question first. Based on the current economic situation in December 2019, a forecast indicates that the global stock market will be experiencing an uptrend. As an investor, you believe that the situation will be better in United States as compared to Malaysia. To take advantage of this, you decide to do an intermarket spread by using the following available information. This question is about intermarket spread. Based on the information given, it was forecasted that the stock market will be in uptrend and the S&P 500 will outperform the KLCI. So, the first step to solve this question is, the strategy that we are going to use is to buy S&P 500 today and sell KLCI later. The second step is, we will calculate the contract value for both indices. As you can see from the slide, to calculate S&P contract value, we have to multiply the price of March 2020 S&P, which is 1,800 times 250 and times the exchange rate. The contract value is 1,907,550. Meanwhile, to get the contract value for KLCI, you have to multiply the March 2020 KLCI index, which is 1,590 times 50 ringgit. 50 ringgit is the contract size of KLCI. Next, the figures that we got from the calculation just now will be converted into ratios to determine the number of contracts. Number of contracts for S&P is 1, while KLCI is 23. This table right here represents the strategies for both FKLI and S&P in December 2019 and March 2020 and total spread for both index. Finally, this is the working to get profit or loss for S&P 500. We have to take the spread for S&P, which is 100 times 1 times 250 times 4.2390. Meanwhile, for KLCI, the total spread is negative 40 times 23 contracts times 50 ringgit. The total profit is 59,975.
Based on the past year question from February 2020, question 3B is a speculating question. From the question, we can identify the number of contracts, which is 10, and the initial margin is 2,000 ringgit. Maintenance margin is 1,500 per contract. The total maintenance margin would be 1,500 ringgit multiplied with 10 contracts, and it will be 15,000 ringgit. Based on the table, we need 4 columns, which is for day, closing price, floating profit or loss, and current margin. For the column day and closing price, we only need to copy from the question. The current margin for day 0 will be the current margin that already stated in the question, which is 20,000 ringgit. We can calculate the floating profit or loss by closing price day 0 minus the closing price day 1 multiply with 10 contracts multiply with 100 basis point and multiply with 10 ringgit. The figure will be 6,100 ringgit. It will be for day 1. The calculation will go on until day 5. For current margin, we only need to add the current margin with floating profit or loss. For example, day 1 current margin, day 0 will add with 6,100 ringgit from profit from day 1 be equal with this 6,100 for the current margin day 1. Lastly, we need to calculate the profit. We can use closing price day 0 minus with closing price day 5, multiply with 10 contracts, multiply with 100 basis point and multiply with 10 ringgit. The profit will be 17,000 ringgit.
This question 4B is arbitrage with FKB, which involves calculating implied forward rate, IFR. This is the formula for IFR, where the T2 indicates the length of long period and the T1 is the length of the short period. First, the total of long term divided by short term and minus by 1, and then you have to times by 360 over 90, and the value of IFR is 3.89%. Now, we are going to determine the fair value which the calculated IFR minus by 100, and you will get 96.11. In this case, where 100 minus physical rate 3.8%, and the value is 96.20. Therefore, the fair value is 96.11 versus 96.20 indicates an overprice, which is sell future market and buy cash market. The strategies include make short-term borrowing, sell Clibor futures, lend fund until maturity date plus additional 3 months, and roll over borrowing requirements upon maturity. Cash market on March, borrow 3 million ringgit for 90 days at 3.46% and lend 3 million for 180 days at 3.69%. For June, roll over borrowing of 3 million at 3.8% for another 90 days. For future market on March, sell 3 contract March at 96.40 and on June buy 3 contract March at 95. Now we will calculate the profit or loss. Future profit sell 96.40 minus by 95 times, 100 times by 3 times by 25 ringgit, and the total is 10,500. For interest revenue, you will get 55,350 ringgit. Now, we are going to minus the calculated future profit and interest revenue with interest expenses. Firstly, 3 million ringgit times by 3 month Clibor, which is 3.46%, and times by 90 over 360, you will get 25,950 ringgit. Then, amount of rollover borrowing of 3 million plus the existing interest of previous borrowing, 25,950, and times by physical rate 3.8% times by 90 over 360, you will get 28,746.53 cents. The total for interest expenses is 54,696 and 53 cents. Net profit answer is 11,153.47 cents.